Hello?
Welcome everybody to the Wisdom Book Club, and just so everybody knows, we're being recorded, and we're going to rebroadcast this at some point. And we're going to talk about some current books that we're reading or we have waiting to read. So we're going to start around the room. We're missing a few people, but maybe they'll jump in a little bit. So Chuck, why don't you start us off? What are you reading now?
Okay, let's see. Right now, for the Lighthouse for the Blind book club, I'm reading Blue Water Green Skipper, and that is relating to sailboats, I guess, for sailing. It's an autobiography. I'm about 6 hours into it. I got till Thursday to finish it. It's tough. It's just too much technical garble for sailboats, and the first part of the book was okay, but now it's kind of very boring to me. But I do want to talk about two that I just finished, and one is The House at the End of the World by Dean Koontz. I don't know how to say his last name.
That's correct.
Okay, if you like Stephen King's horror books, this is a doozy. This is a really good book. Right now, I got my son reading it now, and the other one is The Waiting by Michael Connelly. It's a Bosch and the girl detective. Geez, can't remember her name right now. But anyways, the two of them are teaming up, and that's another really good book. If you like the Bosch series, and that's the three books that I'd like to report on.
What was the name of that last book by with Michael Connelly? What was the name of it?
The Waiting,
The Waiting.
Waiting.
Okay, great. Okay. And Thomas, you're not currently reading any books right now, right?
I just finished The Situation Room by George Stephanopoulos, but I just finished I don't know if you guys even heard about it, probably, or maybe even read it. It's The Boys in the Boat.
No, who wrote that book? And what's it about?
That's where I'm at a loss.
Okay.
I have to ask Sheila, but it's about crew, a crew team of boys that make crew. You know, with crew on a river. You know, where they rowers.
Yep.
It's all about rowers. It's really a great. I mean, I listened to the movie, but there is a book out on it also. But the movie was great to listen to. So again, I do both if they're available. If not, but right now, the 20 hours of George Stephanopoulos burnt me out.
I read that The Boys in the Boat. That
Oh,
was a
great.
good book.
It is a good book, right? Hey, Charlie, nice to meet you, by the way. I don't know if you were on the ship with us or not, but it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Thomas.
My name's Chuck. Glad to meet you.
Are you in Tampa?
I'm in Lake Worth, Florida, just south of West Palm, north of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, you mentioned the lighthouse. That's why I'm asking, because I know there's a lighthouse in Tampa.
Yeah, they're all over.
Oh, I didn't know that you had more than one down in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
They're in most big cities around the country.
Yeah.
Oh, the only thing I have is one here in Manhattan. That's it. That's it. Just one. The Lighthouse Guild.
Yep, that's the big one. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Amazing.
I'm reading a book. Finally got on board called Red Sky Warning.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's the last book. Well, I think it's the last book of the series from Jack Carr about the Navy SEAL. Really good. Probably one of the best ones. It's the seventh book in that series, and it was really, really good. And I'm also reading still all the series about the woman forensic medical examiner. Her name just escaped me. Hold on a second here.
I think I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name either. Bree, I'm sorry that your buddy isn't here tonight.
Who's that?
Sheila, they seem to get along quite well. So
Who? Who?
my wife and Bree seem to get
Oh,
along quite well. So I'm sorry that she's not here to attend.
All good. All good.
She's at our grandson's basketball game right now. Keeping my fingers crossed that they win.
Okay.
Patricia Conwell. That's who I'm thinking of as her name.
Tricia Conwell. Huh.
Yeah, and she writes books on. This is a series about she's a medical examiner named Dr. Scarpetti,
Huh.
and she's out of Virginia, and it's a lot of forensic crime mystery kind of stuff. Really good series, though. Really good series.
Okay.
So those are the two series I've been going through right now. And but I like Dean Koontz, Chuck, so I'm gonna have to check that one out. And The Waiting, I'll have to check that one out too, for sure, because I definitely am a big Bosch fan.
Well, again, a really intense book. If you're willing to put the effort into reading it, it's called Space by William Michener. And it is all about our space program and everything that has developed since the late or early 60s to present.
Is it really technical? Because Mitchum's a pretty detailed technical writer.
Yeah, I would have to say he's as technical as Da Vinci, if you read any Da Vinci. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Charlie may not. Yeah, okay, I got it. I hear where you're coming from. Thank you. Easier books. Death of a
No.
Salesman.
No. No, I like the technical books too, but I got to be in the right frame of mind.
Absolutely.
Usually when I'm reading or listening to books, I'm trying to relax, and
Stop.
you
On the
cannot
phone.
relax with a Michener book because it's too much. You got to really pay attention.
Yeah, there's no relief. You
Yeah.
can't. It's putting a bookmarker in, and you might as well start the book over.
It reminds me of college and reading all those books. So,
Exactly. But
Yeah.
it is a great book. I mean, that
I'm
I will
sure,
give
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's a great book, and again,
I would like to read it because I do like the space program.
I mean, if you guys want to read another great book that's really good, is by Chad Foster, Beyond Blindness, I think it's called. Chad
Mhm.
Foster, his name is. He's Sheila. God, I got a signed book from him and everything. I can't think of the name of the damn book. Isn't that funny? I think it's How to Overcome Blindness, or all you do is look up Chad Foster, and it'll come up in your books, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And that's a great book. It's all about how he's learned to navigate and be an IBMer first, and then go to Red Cap and still continue as a productive blind person and seeing impaired. And do you know where Ben's at?
Ben doesn't usually get on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't count on him getting on because he's so busy with other things. So
That's fine as long as he's doing well. I haven't spoken to him because I'm just trying to wait until he is better to the point where he calls us.
yeah, he's doing good.
That's
doing
awesome. And Bree,
Yeah.
I have one question for you. If you are still able to hear, are you? Oh Jesus, I just lost my train of thought. It was on Ben. Oh, Charlie's here.
Well, let's keep it about
Yeah,
books right
go
now
ahead.
because
Yep.
we're recording.
Oh,
this,
I
so.
keep forgetting that we're recording.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm new with this. So I apologize,
No problem.
everyone.
No problem. Chuck, any other books you got in the circle there that you're thinking about, or
Blind Ambitions
Blind Ambitions? Okay.
by Chad Foster.
I'll have to go back to my list. There's I just want to bring up that Lee Childs has a new Reacher book out. And I don't know if anybody in the room likes CJ Box,
Oh yeah.
the Joe Pickett series.
Yep.
Well, I think he's also got a new one out. And
When did that come out?
I think recently. I keep getting these notices from Amazon, and I'm always at a spot where I can't write it down and I forget.
Oh, so that's not. So it's not on Bard. It's on Audible.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
because it usually takes a little bit of time, as far as I know, for him to get on
Mhm.
Bard.
Yeah. Audible is a commercial, so they're in the money, and
Right.
Bard is nonprofit, so
Right,
the commercial market won't release it until You know, they've run
We
its course.
started losing money.
Yeah, and then they'll turn it over to the you know the National Library. So
Right.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest too, just in case you don't know. Here in Manhattan, we have what they call Witzel Library.
hmm
It's like one of the top libraries in the country. And that, I believe, has a complete separate free Audible for senior impaired and blind.
yeah,
So just
Yep.
just letting you know that there's more avenues to read books in.
yeah. Oh, there's thousands of
I didn't realize there was this many until I started the search. I was blown away with
Yeah.
how many people have created
Yeah.
Audibles.
I do Bard because it's free and then you can easily download it.
Yep.
When you're dealing with libraries, you know, you have time limits, and then
Yep.
if you're not the resident of that particular area, they don't,
Yep.
you know, they have problems with it. So I don't usually deal with local libraries.
Again, I just was throwing it out there because it's
Yeah.
another source, just another source for us to read. That's all.
There is an agency, Thomas, that you might be not aware of. It's called Learning Ally.
Oh, nope, never heard that.
Are you familiar with that, Chuck?
No, never heard of it.
Okay, it used to be called back in the day, it used to be called Recording for the Blind.
Huh.
And now it's called Learning Ally. They're out of Princeton, New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And what they specialize is technical books for college kids and high school kids. Well, even grade school too. So anything to do with school and college, they will have in postgraduate and doctorate levels.
David, would you send me that name in my message after we hang up later? That name of this place? Because I would love to contact and reach out to that place.
Yep. Now you have to be a member. You have to get a prescription to it.
Okay.
And I don't remember. I had my subscription since 1968. So
you're old.
So I don't have to pay anymore for it, and I don't have any idea how much it is now, because usually it's for design for school kids and school age people. Schools buy the membership to them.
That's correct. Yes, for their libraries.
But so you'd have to contact them and actually find out how much an individual membership. It probably tells you on the website too. But yeah, they're really good. You can get any kind of technical book they have, and if they don't have it, you can send them 2 copies of the book, and they will get permission, and they will read it onto a digital format for you.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's really cool.
That's amazing. And that you don't mind spending money for, especially if they could do something like that.
Yeah. And nowadays, a lot of books are digital already format.
Yes.
So they don't have to read it. They just have to get permission to resubmit it for the blind population. But
got it.
Usually not a problem.
That's awesome. Okay, and there's any other? So that's your 2. We heard Chuck's 2 or 3. I have the Chad Forster Blind Ambitions and the George Stephanopoulos Situation Room, which again, if you guys, Chuck, that would be really probably way technical for you. The Situation Room started out as a closet. So
I'm not a big George Stephanopoulos fan, but
I'm a big fan on the White House and how our government operates. So I read it for what the Situation Room was. It's not about who was writing it, about what the room actually did and where and what it does today.
And Chuck, you like technical books, right? Engineering type stuff, wasn't it? Your background is engineering, isn't it?
Well, my background is HVAC, heating, ventilating, and air conditioning mostly. I do like some technical stuff, but not overall. It just all depends on what it's about.
Right.
The Michener book, is that one of those real long ones, like 30, 40 hours?
Yeah, James Michener usually puts out some lengthy books.
I read a series. I don't know the name of the series off the top of my head, but I'll have to look for it. But see if you guys ever heard of this series. It's called, I think the first one is Stonemasons.
Oh, uh-huh.
And it was written, the first book, and these are long books. These are like
Okay.
60, 70-hour books. Okay.
Yep.
And it was a book about a stonemason way back in like the 1200s.
Yep.
And it goes through his life and how he used to build castles in Scotland and England and how he was an apprentice and da 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 da. Of course, it has murder in it and love and all that kind of stuff, but really fascinating. And then the book goes to the next series, and it's like he got married and had kids, and they became stonemasons, and it talks about how they built bridges and dams. So it's a little technical because it talks a little bit about engineering, how they designed and built bridges when they didn't have big, bulldozers and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And it's a really cool, fascinating book. So I don't know if you guys ever heard it. You ever heard of that series, Chuck?
Well, I've actually lived it. See, that's the difference between you, me, and many others. You guys have been blind for a long time. I just went blind 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago. So I have had all the experience of seeing this in real life.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't need to read it because I've actually physically seen it. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, what's fascinating is like you weren't around in the 1200s, right?
no.
So it talks about things like how they were building this church,
Yeah,
and how the guy in the scaffolding, they built this scaffolding, but they weren't sure how they were going to build it because there was an unusual steeple.
gotcha.
So it got weak, and they didn't support the scaffolding right, and it started to collapse. So the stone that weighed 10 tons or whatever, fell on the guy and squished the guy. So
Absolutely.
it talks about that kind of like the everyday life history of building back then. So it's more than just the engineering part. It's their life story. It's like a biography.
Again, it's fascinating. I think about this, and this goes for Chuck too, so that he's not eliminated. Just think back to that time period and think who's the person who was scraping through the dirt and found this product, that product, decided to put it under heat and created metal or copper or
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So to me, when I get into those type of books, I really get in depth. However, it's because of my background that I do live for those books. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You might like this series. I'll have to dig it out for you.
well, again, that's another thing I want you to everybody to remember why I'm on this phone, because Sheila reads them every month. I think she gets them. Don't forget, Reader's Digest still has that great little short book series that they actually mail to your house, and they have on Audible now.
Well, they have it on Bard too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, short. Go
Are you
ahead.
familiar with the Bard program, Thomas?
I looked into it, but because Sheila has Amazon Prime and everything, I just stick with that because it's got every book you can think of on it.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get to the point where you want to download and find and search for your own books, Bard is a great program, and it's free, and you could download it to your iPhone or your computer or whatever. And
Okay.
so it's a really good, and they have I think they have like 60 different magazines.
You
They're all-
confused me with that first statement of it allows you to pick books. So does Amazon. I don't.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
you have to pay for Amazon.
Oh, well, that's because I have a wife that spends a ton of money with the place. So I'm like, that's why I do it. Otherwise, I'll look at Bard if she gives up Amazon.
Well, one is you have to pay for, and one is free. So
Okay. Well, I do
go.
the free
Options.
things as much as possible. Naturally, I
Yep.
think we all try. And then if I am unsuccessful, like right now, I'm still elated that I am on this call. So I'm still trying to process that I made this call.
And the other thing we need to remember is that the more we use the BARD program, which is actually developed through the Library of Congress
Okay.
for the blind, the more we
Okay.
use it, the more valuable it is, and the more money the government will give towards it.
Oh, well, then I will definitely have.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think I can get the app myself. I'll have Sheila do it. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Well, I can say Siri, open app for Bard, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I can do that, and then I just have
But first, you have to be a member of the Talking Book program, the Library of Congress Talking Book program.
Okay, so get into the Library of Congress Talking Book program.
Yeah. So
Do me a favor. After we're
you-
done, send me a message of all this information.
Okay.
That's the
But-
easiest way, David.
Yeah, and if you go to your local library,
Yes?
they can help you with that too.
Yeah, again, it's hard for me to do anything at this
I
time
know,
of the year.
you're- yeah.
I am locked up in snow as deep as you can get, so.
Yep.
However,
Okay.
I
All right.
can't thank you enough for teaching me how to jab with my, instead of trying to glide across the snow, jabbing is a much better way to walk in snow, I'll tell you that.
All right, so we've 1926 now, so
And nobody
7:30.
else has come on, just the three of
Nope.
us?
Just the three of us. So
Ah, interesting.
any other books? Because we want to end the recording if there's no other books, discussion, and
Not for
Chuck?
this week. We've filled
Okay.
up each other's brains pretty much with books that we've already. So I think we're good for this week. What I'd like to do is this is the target that Sheila and I were talking about in the meeting last week, and I would like to see if how can we generate to make sure that we get 10, 20 people every time we do this.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's
Oh, you want to stop the recording? I
Yeah,
keep
let's
forgetting
fin-
about the recording. I'm sorry.
we'll finish this and then we can stay on
Please.
for a few more minutes.
Bree's probably laughing her ass off right now, saying this guy's a nut job.
Hey Chuck, any other comments about books, Chuck?
No, I think I've covered everything that I'd like to bring up. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Well,
Chuck, just
thank-
a quick question. Are you going to be going on the cruise from Baltimore to Bermuda?
Thomas, wait a minute, Thomas.
I'm sorry, we're still recording. I apologize.
Bree's
I'm,
gonna make Bree do a lot of editing here.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry, Bree.
thanks everybody for joining the Wisdom Book Club. Remember to spread it around and tell everybody to get on here and we can talk about books.
Yes.
Okay, Bree, go ahead and you can discontinue. Stop recording.